A lot of people make excuses for predators, especially female predators. There's an awful lot of predators who are dead. Natalie Bollinger's one of them. Did she deserve that death? No, she didn't. I did. I deserved the end to the hell that she and her friends were putting me through. I didn't get a hold of my friends for help stopping that to stalk anyone. With each and every one of them, the evidence shows that number one, I did go for help repeatedly. And that you treat disabled and homeless people nationwide. That's how I got treated. Why is Natalie Bollinger dead? She got shot in the head because you guys didn't give a shit. She was killed at McIntosh Dairy in Thornton, Colorado, with her boyfriend's 9mm Glock 19 at 6 to 15 inches away from her head while she was on her knees. This is an execution. Natalie Bollinger planned out her death. The real question is, what did she have on Joseph Michael Lopez to get her, or to get Joseph Lopez to shoot her in the head? That's a good question. See, here's one of the things about female predators. Female predators get away with it most often. We've come to realize through Facebook and YouTube that females may commit up to 60% more sexually motivated crimes than men. 60% more sexually motivated crimes. We've also noticed that while men hover around 22 to 23% as far as narcissistic traits go, women are hovering at around 81%. That is an incredible difference. Then there's the fact that women are 11 times more likely to be stalkers than men, but men are far more likely to be convicted. Female predators prey on these numbers. They prey on your assumptions and your ignorance and your unwillingness to look it up for yourself. If something with boobs says it, it must be true. Unfortunately, Natalie Bollinger's dead. Hello? Natalie Bollinger isn't the only one dead. Christina Lushinger, aka Christina Buheat, is also dead. She's not the only one. There are a lot of people who are dead. Some of them over this situation in specific, some of them in connection with this specific situation, and some of them unrelated. However, they are involved in the situation, so their deaths were not good. They definitely weren't good for me. Now you get to see how when a man goes for help, especially a homeless man, especially one who's called disabled, all of these so-called professionals that you're supposed to go to, these mandated reporters, when they're all telling you it's not going to work, they're not even going to try. This is why it doesn't work. Because these people weren't trying. How am I supposed to believe that Megan Missigatis is actually going to help me? She's not. She never did. She never tried. All I needed for that fucking moron to do is speak up. Tell the fucking truth. If you're gonna make me fucking record it and post it on the internet, that's what I'll do. If you want to be angry at me because I recorded it and posted it on the internet, well, you had every fucking opportunity to come forward and tell the truth. You guys want to pretend that I'm selfish because when Candace Bondurant wanted to break the law, I spoke up. Now with Candace Bondurant, is it my fault that she did what she did? No, it isn't. When these people want to pretend like I'm selfish for telling the truth, no. These people have been pulling this bullshit, not just against me, but against my family, for 6 goddamn years. I don't give a holy fuck if you're Jesus H fucking goddamn Christ himself. You don't fuck with my family. Some asswipe calling himself monotypical. LOL, you're still talking abscess? Shit, bitch, let me show you a quick fucking secret. Hide user on this channel, blam. Bye-bye, bitch. You goddamn right I'm still talking about it. It's not a fucking laughing matter. Rape is not a fucking laughing matter. People threatening to kill my loved ones is not a fucking laughing matter. And any of you who think that's okay, you can kiss my, well, there's a young woman next to me who is probably not old enough to hear those words, so I'm going to be kind. Y'all tell me to do all these things I'm not capable of doing. And then you treat me like shit because I'm not capable of doing them. Jesus fucking Christ. And then I got to go to autism advocates who don't advocate. She doesn't advocate. She doesn't do any of the things an advocate is supposed to do. And because she didn't do any of the things that an advocate is supposed to do, I got fucking railroaded. Not that it fucking matters. I'm not a human being to you. I get it. I'm not the right color to be a victim. I'm not the right gender to be a victim. That's just amazing and shameful. Oh, nice. Found some change. People want to hide poverty. They want to hide it from their kids. They want to hide it from their families. Of course, y'all pressure these politicians. Oh, we don't want to see these poor people. Why aren't you helping them? And then they pull bullshit like they did with Dean. That didn't fucking help Dean. They knew what they were doing was fucking wrong. But not a goddamn person in Hood River has got the balls to stand up to the pork. Then again, this is a bunch of goddamn cowardly veterans in this town who think that they are owed every goddamn thing and that they fought for our rights. I'm sorry, but shooting children in fucking Iraq is not doing a goddamn thing about our rights here. The homeless veterans on the streets do not deserve to take this abuse just because we got a bunch of jackholes in the Hood River who are actually getting their goddamn GI Bill. Meanwhile, none of these motherfuckers know what the United States is about. They've never been homeless. They've never had to deal with it. And of course, in their minds, everybody in America fucking owes them because they went over to foreign countries and murdered people. No! Absolutely not. I don't owe you shit for murdering people in foreign fucking countries. That is fucking absurd. You say nobody owes nobody nothing, but then we got these goddamn veterans who want to pretend like we do owe them for a service they never fucking provided. You know who is in the United States fighting for our rights? Homeless people. There are homeless veterans fighting for our rights here in America. It matters. But they're homeless, so they don't matter. You think any of these other veterans in this fucking town with their cush fucking bullshit, do you think they're actually going to fight for the rights of homeless veterans? Fuck no, they don't give a shit. They just want their empty goddamn promises. They want their free stuff for murdering people. And guess how many people I've murdered? In almost 42 years of life, I have yet to kill a single soul. There is not a single human being I have ever even pointed a fucking gun at. America is not the land of the brave. It's a land of cowardice. It's a land of stupidity and racism and hatred for the poor. That right there, that last part is the most important part. Hatred for the poor. The more poor you are, the less you fucking matter. If it ain't Johnny Depp, you don't give a fuck. If it is Johnny Depp, shit, just like Jason Momoa. If either of those men raped somebody, half the women in America would still fucking support them. So you know what? There's no purpose in trying to be a good person. If you're a man, your best bet is to blow your head off. Unless you're good looking and rich. Now, of course, this portion of the street has quite an echo. Mostly it's coming off this building behind me. All right, my turn to cross. Thank you, sir. And would you imagine that? It was a Hispanic feller who stopped and let me cross. Can you imagine that? Being told about how we owe all these veterans who aren't doing shit, how this is white America, how whites are better than everybody, and lo and behold, who is it that is showing the most humanity in this town? Brown people. Who is showing the most humanity and decency? Brown people. And who is it that gives us the nastiest looks? That would be, of course, the crackers. It's not nice to call them crackers, is it? It's not. Of course, historically, it's not accurate. Historically, they would have grabbed the HNIC and had him crack the whip. If you don't know what the HNIC is, you should go ask a black person. They'll tell you. What is the HNIC? If you can't figure it out from that, there's a movie called Stand and Deliver. You could look that up too. What is the HNIC? When it comes to abuse, I don't fuck around. When I find shit out, I do my bestest to make sure the fucking cops take a look. I do my bestest to make sure that I speak out on fucking YouTube, because I have no helping person. I got fucking liars and fucking pieces of shit up the ass. Oh, hell yeah. I can fart out probably 20 or 30 liars for you right fucking now. The problem is, just like the rest of y'all, my so-called friends are cowards. Ooh. Marijuana vape. Lovely. Maybe we'll take that to the vehicle and see if we can puff it. Piss some folk off. Now here's the thing. The things that I'm pissed off about, people should be pissed off about. You want to pretend that I'm crazy because I'm screaming? Do you bother to hear the words? Do you bother to listen to it? You don't give a fuck if you're guilty or not. You just want somebody to take your shit out on. You want somebody that you can take your anger out on. You want somebody who you can take that bullshit when that boy wouldn't give you the time of day. Man, that makes you angry, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it made you so angry you were willing to try to slander his name and get him fucking murdered. That's right. How many women have we had on TikTok claiming that because a man broke up with them, they're going to call him a chimo? Chimo is short for child molester, aka pedophile. Now don't get me wrong, I got lots of pedophiles in my family. Of course, I don't get along with my family. Why don't I get along with my family? Well, because as a victim of pedophilia, I don't fucking like pedophiles. Not complicated. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Here. Stuff something to drink too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You're welcome. I don't remember panhandling you.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
I was able to get enough quarters to buy one.
Fine.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
worry about it. Keep it for later. Keep yourself fucking up.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I grew up in the system, so beat me, spank me, and call me Susan. Just kidding, I'm a Sally, silly. Do you guys ever have a hose day? Like where you got to go through and hose everything down? Alright, I don't like Pepsi, but I'm really craving it today. They usually give me a notice by now that they're gonna send me my disability money. I didn't get my notice. So I might not get paid. Hopefully, the biggest issue is without a guardian or somebody to assist you with transferring here. It don't matter. Also, without an address.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, that was fucking smart of me. That is not the most intelligent thing that I've done this week. Oh, the people here protected me from the cops twice. It's kind of like base. When I lived in Huntington Beach, there was a tree by the police annex. It was our base. California got a lot of gang problems, right? So it wasn't a gang. It is pretty warm today. You could sit in the shade. Why can't people just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do? There is no doubt that Natalie Bollinger was a victim, but she wasn't mine. I was hers. People don't like it when you stand up to them. A lot of you guys pretend that I was just standing up to Natalie. No, I was standing up to a lot of people. Having people calling me up and telling me they're gonna kill my family, and having people making fake profiles all the time to send to me and threaten my family and harass me. And it hasn't stopped. I can't go anywhere without being victimized. I showed the lady here one of the videos with Natalie Bollinger. I just showed her that it existed. And then I showed her Robert Franklin Warnick. I didn't want to use too much of her time, you know. Oh. Mountain Dew goes down too smooth. Pepsi don't. On this channel, there's a video called "My Sister Was Just Threatened." That was 5 months ago. That's what prompted me to leave. There's people missing all over. David and Katie Saltzman aren't the only ones. They just happen to be missing here in Oregon. I suppose I had to finish my cigarette. No, I'm not a happy camper. That was not a velociraptor. That was a belch. That was a fart. I'm told often about how these soldiers are fighting for our rights. If they were fighting for our rights, we'd have those rights. We don't have those rights. So obviously, the soldiers are either liars or they're misinformed. If my neighbor steals $200 from me, and I go shoot him in the head because he didn't give me my $200, you know, I could say that I was protecting the neighborhood girls. But the reality is, that's just an excuse. I can't stop the abuse on my own. I can't take care of myself. I can't defend myself. I can't protect myself. No matter how many times I say that, people don't get it. Even with my medical records, they just pretend my medical records don't exist. Whatever narrative was sold, it doesn't matter what the evidence says. It doesn't matter what the evidence at Chesapeake Hospital says. It doesn't matter what my arrest record says. I know that I won't matter until I'm dead. My predators know I won't stop until I'm dead. Video log. I do them all the time. It's because if I'm talking to my phone, even if it's off, people are less likely to victimize me. It looks like I'm busy doing something. I might be talking to somebody important, things like that. So I try to keep recording at all points in time, just in case I am assaulted even while I'm recording, which does happen, but not as often.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, I can't find my own Twitter. Thanks, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Nice sitting in the shade.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I can still work. You sit here. Alright, 5041 right to you?
Like Jeff Baldridge says, don't be good to you and be good to them.
What's that? No problem.
A lot of times when somebody is victimized and they've gone to everybody there is to go to, they've jumped through every hoop they're supposed to jump through. They've expended all of their money, all of their resources, all of their time jumping through these hoops for this help. And at the end, these people say, oh, well, that's not my job. Megan Messigatis at least said it almost from the very beginning. And that's the problem. How long after she had told me did she contact the Dole County Sheriff's Department and let them know? It was a long time. Not only that, but she didn't call them to let them know. I called them, made them meet me, and then I called her when they showed up. Thank you, ma'am. She gave me some cigarettes and a couple bucks so I'd get something to drink. On a day like this, that's pretty important. There's no juice in the machine or I would have gotten that. Natalie was my best friend, and they killed her for it. By they, I mean her druggy friends, her druggy family, her druggy exes, her druggy customers. And then they try to justify it by claiming I'm the one who's on drugs. That I'm the one who's slandering people's names. Who is it that claims that I was arrested in Virginia? I didn't make that claim because I wasn't. My record shows it. Who is it that claims that I was dehydrated? I did. I also proved that 5 days before I was taken in and rehydrated, I'd let them know. I let Natalie and her sister know I was dehydrated, that I had sweat out that much. I mean, here, you got to see me in my vehicle. It was hot. The last couple of days, yesterday was fine, but the day before and the day before that, those literally could have killed me. Aha. It is cool, isn't it? I always wanted one of those when I was a kid. I saw like 3 of them yesterday. They had one of them with the weird, almost a Formula One front end.
Wow.
I guess there's probably a dune pit around here, isn't there?
No.
Well, it's weird that there's so many dune buggies here.
Yeah, we don't have any place I know of.
Nebraska, we got mudding trucks and dune buggies.
I don't.
Thank you.
Have you eaten today?
No, ma'am.
You want a bologna sandwich?
Hmm?
Would you like a bologna sandwich?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, just give me a second. Should still be good. It's in the fridge. There's nothing on it besides bologna bread, but there you go.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's how I eat my sandwiches. With nothing else on them.
Well, I got no teeth, so I pull them apart the same way.
I hear ya.
Jeff Baldridge also says, you know that feeling that you get when you do something good for somebody else? I said, yeah. He said, why would you want to deny that feeling to another person?
I had to pull my teeth out a while back on my front ones.
They pulled 22 of mine all at once.
Did they? Wow.
I have literally 0 teeth. Which is funny because when the police tried to frame me for Natalie's murder, they
Yeah.
assaulted the shit out of me and claimed I assaulted him with a weapon and tried to bite him.
Really now?
Yep.
How in the hell can you bite somebody with no teeth?
Well, I'll tell you, in South Dakota, a couple of years after that, one of the people there decided that she was going to take my beard and put her arm like this, and I couldn't breathe. She had her arm across my mouth and my nose. I learned at that moment that even without teeth, you can bite.
Well, I mean, you probably can, but I mean, you're not going to leave no teeth marks.
Right. And see, the thing with Lolatai, I wasn't anywhere near him, even close enough to bite him. But they assaulted the living crap out of me, told the public that I tried to assault a police officer, and then they dropped the charges. They just kept on doing that.
That's crazy.
11 times alone in Chapel, Nebraska, they either charged me with false charges or took me to a nuthatch and told the nuthatch I was bipolar or schizophrenic. Meanwhile, I got the recording with my therapist. She's licensed to diagnose schizophrenia. She's also the only medical professional who saw me long enough to diagnose schizophrenia. 6 months. She says I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not delusional. I mean, do I come across to you as either one?
No. And believe me, I've seen people that
Well, you know Dean.
well, yeah, and I've dealt with a few people that have been nutty.
Will they get away with it by calling me crazy, insinuating that I'm on meth?
That's
Right.
funny. You're welcome. Hello.
I used to do a video log for about
You have the
10 minutes a day. At that point in time, it was just a matter of getting the word out. That was before Natalie's death. Afterwards, my friends made me realize that I needed to record everything, including with them. They would make empty promises, and when my money was gone, so went their promises. Pepsi don't slide down nearly as smooth as the Mountain Dew does.
You like that?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, now we got another person on there. Take a screenshot. And then hide user on this channel. Blam. You see how easy that is? Not so easy in real life. It's not so easy to hit the hide user on this channel button. Some cops are circling your house like vultures and following your sister around. Try to help everybody out if I can. Right, everybody in Chapel. The one I miss the most is Jeff Baldridge. No, it's not a new camera. Albert with Sarah type. How's your day going? Well, for about the last 20 minutes, it's been going good. Other than that, my engine blew. I don't have any assistance with doing the things that I need done. I can't get my disability transferred here without assistance. I'm not capable of doing it myself. And I don't have anyone to assist me with it. Can't do it myself. Nobody to assist me with it. Can't do it myself. Let's just make sure we say it a few more times. I want to make sure everybody understands. I can't do it. I can barely function. One of the things about making a video log is that most of the time I have nobody to talk to. I spend my time in my car. So when I make a video log, it allows me to talk as if I did have a friend who cared. I fit in here in Hood River a lot easier than I fit in Colorado, because here in Hood River, I mean, they got black people here. You got no idea how much that makes me feel more comfortable. Wow.
How can you talk? They can't help themselves. I'm so fucking tired.
Well, you've been running back and forth.
Well,
and it's
and
hot out
I've only
there.
had one day off last week. And I'm not getting any time off this week because my co-workers quit, but they're coming back Monday.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. She had a disagreement with Will.
So that crazy black feller,
Oh, Ernest?
that's his name? Oh
Yeah.
my god, he is so funny.
He used to be my manager. But he stepped down, went to Rite Aid, and
Thank you, ma'am.
uh-huh.
Is he funnier as a manager or as an employee?
Sometimes he can get annoying as fuck. It just depends. One day of the week, I guess you'd say. I normally don't work with him. I usually work the opposite shift or whatever. Today I came in and had to, relieve him, of course. But yeah, he only works like one day a week now. Here.
Well, I suppose that allows me one day a week to try to get to know him.
Oh yeah, on Wednesdays.
I know, I come out here one day, him and Kat were working, but I'm not sure, and just the stuff to come out of his mouth. Like, alright, first of all, if anybody didn't understand the situation, they'd have probably thought me and him were going to go to blows. But it was the most entertaining banter I have had in a while.
Yeah, he can be funny sometimes.
He's quite astute.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people can memorize jokes, but not many people are able to just Johnny on the spot something like that. That's one of my traits, so when I run into somebody who's got it, I'm like, yeah, I can tell that guy's annoying. I like him already.
I want you to come here. Like that, I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing.
Well, he might be overheated, or he might not be intelligent enough to understand. Well, he's not dropped low, so he's not going to bottom out. I know if he was low, like my car bottoms out there.
Oh yeah, a lot. When they made this lot, they weren't thinking.
I could say that about a lot of things.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just a little bit of humanity goes a long way, don't it? Just a little bit of common decency. There's a lot of people who are dead because I wasn't heard. Natalie is not the first, and she won't be the last. She certainly wasn't the last. And of course, hindsight is 2020. If my older brother would have tried sending me a friend request, I could have let him know that Liz Corpenny's account had been hacked. And that if he had responded to it, that they would hack his account. Here's how they do it. You click on the little thing. One of them says that someone we know died. That one's pretty common. The one in particular that he clicked on is that Liz needed to get back into her account, so she had to use his phone number to do it. She did the same thing to me. When I looked at it, it said that it was to get into my account, not Liz Corpenny's. Of course, you guys think I'm an idiot. I'm not the one who fell for that. Liz was. Rabbit was. That's one of the things about stupid people. Stupid people are always so self-assured, aren't they? I mean, a stupid person believes that they're right and it's set in stone. Especially Southern stupid people, because Southern stupid people put God in it. He's so ugly, bless his heart. You just need to give it to God. When it comes to saving lives, though, if you don't speak out, those people die, it is your fault. That's one of the things about the mandated reporter laws in Nebraska. The reason that everybody is a mandated reporter in Nebraska is because if you turn a blind eye, according to the state of Nebraska, it's your fault for every crime that continues to happen after that. Like I was saying with Doug Cowden and Rihanna Ingersoll. With Rihanna being dead, it makes it difficult to get her to speak up. All I've got is her words recorded. With Natalie killed, not much I can do there either. With Christine Buhete and all these people that they're pretty sure that she was murdered with fentanyl, that it was an intentional thing.
Have a good day, sir.
Do big wigs know they're losing money by using a $74? They don't give a shit.
Probably not. But we can bypass it. If you know the dollar amount, we can actually bypass that and go inside. All right.
Thanks for offering.
You're welcome. I guess people run the cars more than once sometimes.
Do what?
So some people run the cars more than once sometimes.
I don't have to do that. I'm lucky to get $3.50. I'm probably gonna go for a little walk through town. Maybe piss some people off. The great thing is the First Amendment. That's the one that's supposed to be protected by the Second Amendment. I don't utilize my Second Amendment because I still have hope. I still have hope that my First Amendment will make a difference. Most of these people, their solutions is to shoot. There's a reason that that's the Second Amendment and not the First.
Be right with you.
To shoot first and ask questions later, or shoot them all, let God sort them out, that's not constitutional. That's Nazi. Alright. Now I gotta make sure this thing doesn't die. External batteries. Oh. The one that's plugged in still has 4% charge, so I guess we'll keep it plugged in until the charge runs out, and then we got 2 more taped together. I've been using the battery without turning on the car. Alright, let's look at the questions that were asked. What do you need help with specifically? Operating the computer? I need people to look at the evidence and help me to show it.
No, it's not matter of your card.
I won't be heard. They'll just call me mentally ill and ignore it. So I need assistance in showing that. When it comes to computers, I have to have someone sit with me and show me how to do something. If they don't, I can't do it. If you teach me how, then I can. If I'm not under an incredible amount of stress like I have been for the last 6 years, I can learn just from reading. When I'm overwhelmed, it's different. And the more that goes on, the more overwhelmed I am. The more crimes that are committed, and I still have no one to help me turn them in. That combined with the way that police treat the homeless, and the general public treats the homeless, results in a lot of corpses. Corpses of some of your family members, the ones that you wrote off. Yep. You know what happened to them when you didn't come claim the body? They put those people in an oven, incinerated them. It's cheaper than having a real funeral or a real casket, isn't it? Of course it is. When you type pretty shit like, we need to do better, or, well, anything of that nature. How? What's your suggestion? That's not a suggestion saying we need to do better. That's not a suggestion. That's not an actual solution. That's just a generalized statement. Now, the communication between many of these people and I, mostly these professionals, you get to see that it's not that I didn't try. It's that none of these people were under any obligation to do their jobs because I had no family present. Like I said from the start, someone in person. Alright, well, I like hanging out with human beings in person more than I like talking to my phone. I feel better than I did earlier.
Well, that's good.
I blame you.
Well, that's good. Glad I can help you.
Yes, ma'am. Paying it forward and all that, huh?
What's that?
I said paying it forward and all that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put that other cigarette in my pocket. So it's squished down there under something.
Yeah.
You ready? Yeah?
I'll be back in about 20 or 30 minutes.
All right.
Nice to get a break. That heat's killing me.
Yeah, she would.
Back to the world. Ah, there's the trash. People seem to think that if you ignore the abuse, it'll stop. That's never worked. When people say you just need to let it go, or why are you still talking about that? I'm still enduring it. When people accuse you of the shit that I was accused of, and they never allow you to defend yourself or face your accusers or show evidence, when they repeatedly refuse to allow you to even go to your own court dates, when your own public pretenders don't show up for almost half of them, and the investigators that you're supposed to talk to for the public pretender's office have a 100% no-show, no-call ratio. Every one of those visits cost me $100. $100 to travel to a place where I was being victimized profusely, just so that I could go back to Chapel, Nebraska, where I was only somewhat victimized. By only somewhat victimized, what I mean is the sheer quantity of assaults and abuse and threats and harassment Boulder and Denver, especially after Natalie was killed. Yeah, people were not good to me. They didn't care what the truth was. Very good. I would like to pet you, but I won't. I don't see anyone here with you. He is a cute dog, though. So, looking at his situation, I knew what to expect with that, and I've been expecting the same thing towards me. My view. A lot of folks, they want to be angry at me for screaming for help, claiming that I'm crazy because I screamed for help. Well, you know what? What did I do first? All the things you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to your predator and you're supposed to ask them for help. You're supposed to ask them to stop. You're supposed to tell them how you feel, how their bullying makes you feel. I did try that. It didn't work. I tried going to my friends. How effective was that? Well, they wanted to tell me anything to shut me up. Why did my friends know pretty much jack shit about the situation? I mean, all of them knew at least a little bit. But the reason they didn't know jack shit is because they were too busy talking about themselves. There's all these reasons or excuses. I'm going to have to say excuses, because if they were reasons, these people wouldn't have had any issues with coming forward in court. The reality is they just didn't give a shit. They thought blowing me off with pretty words like "you just gotta love yourself" is gonna fix it. Now I keep comparing this to rape, and I can tell you, as a victim of rape as a child, I haven't been raped as an adult. I have been sexually assaulted by guards in the Lincoln prison. I do make a distinction between rape and sexual assault. What happened to Ventus was sexual assault. It wasn't rape. But they're both still heinous crimes. Now we have rights that are supposed to be observed. But in order for those rights to be observed, those of us who can't do those things for ourselves or aren't allowed because of certain labels, like mentally ill. Mentally ill is not a diagnosis, and it should never be used. Ever. When it comes to the veterans of Hood River, veterans of what? These are the people who slaughtered people in other countries while our rights were taken away. Ours. Our Constitution was flushed down the toilet. Now, how many of these soldiers today, how many of them were even alive when we still had a Constitution? Not that it was ever observed. I heard one news report where they talked about how Tibor Hatay had been killed earlier in the year, and that was in 2019. One of the articles that I read said that Tibor Hatay was killed in 2017. That's a 2-year difference. And some people say, oh, well, you know, if Tibor Hatay, the article I read, it says that he was killed before you were at Clearview. So that shows that you're wrong. And, well, you know what? I don't know which one actually happened. I don't have a verification or a death certificate. But what I do know is that if Clearview had murdered a man in 2017, and the coroner stated very loud and fucking clear, very loud and clear, that Clearview had covered up that crime, to this day there have been no charges for the murder of that man, and it is murder. Why have no charges been brought against the murderers of Tibor Hatay? Why have there been no charges brought against any of these perpetrators for the attempted murder of myself? What they did to Tibor Hatay, they did to me. Tony Kovaleski claims that he's the first to report on it. Oh no, I missed something there. I must have, because I'm pretty sure that I reported it over a year before he did. I'm fairly certain that the guy who gave him the information about those things, a man by the name of Darren O'Connor, who fleeced the homeless to pump his reputation, he got the information on at least 3 of those victims from me. I said, well, did you tell them about me? He said, no. I said, well, why not? He said, because it's too complicated. So if the police make it complicated, then they magically win? That sounds like a goddamn cop-out. Meanwhile, he and I had worked for several years trying to get cameras and recording equipment to the homeless, specifically about 2 other officers. Well, 3 of them. Those 3 officers, Waylon Lolatai wasn't one of them. At that point in time, Waylon Lolatai would have still been working at the Denver Police Department, where he was fired for assaulting people. Imagine that. Now, were it any of the rest of us, we'd be in prison. Especially as repeat offenders, because he just kept on doing it. But then there's people like Darren O'Connor, who took advantage of my situation in order to further his own agenda. The same thing with Zaid Atkinson and BLM. They sold a false narrative that resulted in many, many more people being killed because it's the wrong narrative. They knew it was the wrong narrative. Darren O'Connor knew it was the wrong narrative. The evidence shows that it's the wrong narrative. All of the evidence points not to racism, but to predatory action towards someone they assumed to be homeless. And they do this repeatedly, over and over, because you don't want to see us. Yes, they know that it's unconstitutional. The judges know it's unconstitutional. The public pretenders know it's unconstitutional. The prosecutors know it's unconstitutional, but they don't fucking care because you don't care. You don't want to see the homeless. You push them and pressure them to break the law to make you happy so you don't have to see poverty. So you don't have to see homelessness. And God, I want to fucking give that woman the most mean mug after the way she just looked at me. I wouldn't think that an 80-year-old woman would be that flexible of neck. Shit, that was damn near poltergeist material. I should have been filming that. Break your own neck to stare at a homeless person. Jesus fuck. Now in Nebraska, they got special criteria. Now these special criteria make a black person automatically crazy. And there are a lot of black people in the prison in Lincoln. Nebraskans are racist. They're raised to be racist. They're raised to hate brown folk. They're raised to hate black folk. They're raised to drink and blow shit up and shoot things. Often at the same time. When I moved to Nebraska at the age of 15, my education initially consisted of, hey man, let's go cow tipping. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been cow tipping. Don't. It's a bad idea. It's a bad joke. And a cow can run faster than the fastest man on the planet. So, if you don't believe me, I get that most of you are ignorant some bitches who are just gonna believe what your daddy told you. You cannot outrun a cow. Those of you who are curious are gonna look it up and you're gonna find I'm right. The rest of you are gonna go, man, you're a liar, man. They're fucking fat. Fat things can't run. Oh, look at an elephant. An elephant can run the same speed as a cow. An elephant is a lot bigger than a cow. Hello. A whole lot bigger than a cow. Now, if an elephant can run 32 miles an hour and a cow can run 32 miles an hour, what chance do you have? And of course, you want to run into the side of it like an idiot. Well, that'll be effective. Never push a cow from behind. If they kick you, your calf will shatter. You can't run away. If it's just after they had their calves, they might trample you to death, intentionally. One of the best pieces of advice I got at my first day in Nebraska. And that was, of course, when cow tipping, never push the cow from behind. Good advice. Also, you need to take good running sneakers, and you better hope that you can dive between barbed wire. I did. I got lucky. Lucky. It's not like I magically matrix maneuvered my way through it and it was all a bunch of skill. No, I was lucky as fuck. One of the other things that saved my ass is the fact that those cows, they know where that barbed wire fence is, and they know that with their weight, they got to slow down before they run into it. Well, that's helpful too. This right here is the cop shop. These guys are crooked as shit. But it don't matter. Because I don't have a guardian. I don't have an advocate. Megan Mistigatis was never an advocate. The fact that the Dual County Police Department were well aware of this and kept on pushing it. Even after she had been on the phone with me and several deputies. Now, of course, they've got all sorts of information that they apparently shared, but they apparently didn't share this information. This is fucking nuts. Having officers tell me after she's already explained it to at least one officer in my presence, I got to explain it to at least 3 more of them deputies because they didn't know. And then they wanted to argue because they didn't know and they don't believe me. I'm like, fuck, we've already gone through this. We have gone through this. Like when I was trying to turn in Scott DaCosta to the Nebraska State Patrol since 2018. You know, there's a lot of discrepancies in their fucking stories. There's a lot of shit that doesn't line up. And thank goodness I recorded it. The problem is I need assistance processing it. Doing that in person, well, it's a lot easier to do that in person. It's a lot of work for me to try to do it myself. If you look at my YouTube channel, I've had this thing for what, 5 years? 5 years on this YouTube channel, and I don't do any of the fancy shit that any of these other people do. It's not that I'm incapable of learning. It's that under the conditions I'm in now, I'm incapable. Being afraid everywhere I go that some nut job who watched the web sleuth thing is going to come do some crazy shit. And they do often. One of the things that I did start to do is when I saw people who had previously been predatory towards me, I'd pull out my phone and pretend to be talking on it, even if it's completely out of battery. That way, they might think twice before victimizing me. I mean, sure, the witness, if I was actually talking to somebody, would be on the other end of a phone. It's not like they could see who it is that's perpetrating the crime. Not like they could eyewitness anything, but they can definitely hear it. That's one of the things about having to make all these calls by myself, is that I don't have anyone to verify the things that I've said in any of those situations, and they're not going to give up their body cameras. That's why I needed someone to go in with me in person, not somebody who's going to bullshit me for 7 months like Mandy Hughes, not somebody who's going to bullshit me for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, like Kayla Trujillo. It's not that I didn't try. Everybody knew I was fucking trying. They never came forward about it. They just let the slander stand, knowing, each and every one of these people, knowing that their part in this was a true story. Now, they had the chance to admit that I had gone to them for help. Now, why didn't they want to do that? Sir, your car is falling apart. No offense or nothing. I believe this belongs to you. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir. That was the craziest damn thing. He stopped and then it fell out. The thing is, this all could have been dealt with easily by people simply stopping and listening. Stop talking about yourself. All right? Stop talking about yourself. If someone is in a desperate situation and they need your help, they don't need to know every fucking detail of your goddamn life. Those of you who are angry with me, well, you can be as angry as you want. You're the ones who chose, instead of listening to me, to repeatedly interrupt me and tell me about all of the personal details of your life. I don't need those. Alright, well, I don't want to be a jerk, so I'm not going to point the camera at all the folks up there, but I don't know how to express to y'all how important immigrants are in this community. I don't know how to express to you how important brown folks are in this community. I don't know how to explain to you the humanity that I've been shown by the Hispanic community here and the Native community here. And I don't know how to explain to you how completely ashamed I am of the whites, or how gross it is. Racism is prevalent here, but not as prevalent as in Nebraska. However, here, just as in Nebraska, the hatred is primarily pointed towards the poorest of our society, those who have the least, those who can't defend themselves. When you have a bad day, when somebody takes their crap out on you and you can't do anything about it, you're gonna find somebody lower on the totem pole, because then you get to be right. You get to be right because you're higher on the totem pole, not because you're actually right. So in that situation, obviously it's not a matter of right and wrong. The important thing is winning. And there's a lot of people that when they realize that they can't win an argument because they weren't there, they don't know shit. Their excuses for doing horrible things to me was they heard rumors. Did you find out if those rumors were true, or did you take your shit out on me? Very good. I ain't seen you since the Walmart. How you doing?
Yeah, they kicked me out.
What the hell for?
I don't know. Just a hustle. I'm trying to make some little money.
See,
Get the fuck out of here.
I noticed you're not selling drugs. You're not selling crack. You're not selling cocaine.
I'm just trying to do something to earn some money. Not doing drugs, nothing illegal.
Exactly.
But that's people.
I got a question. I got a YouTube channel. Can I show them one of your fans?
Yeah.
All right. These things are pretty cool. They got a whole bunch of different patterns of them. And on a day, oh my God, that feels good. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe I'll see you there one day.
I definitely will. You're one of the more pleasant people here.
Yes. Thank you.
That man was selling those fans up at Walmart. And I guess they kicked him out. But he was so nice. I mean, like when I walked past him, he was selling his fans, and I looked like a filthy hobo. He stopped me and talked to me. I come back out. I was gonna, when I got those popsicles, I tried to give him a few of them. He's like, "Oh no, I got it covered. Thank you." Very nice man. Now, obviously, you guys got to hear that language back there. That's not English. That's not English at all. Those people are an integral part of this society. I mean, between here and Mount Hood is orchard after orchard after orchard of every fruit tree imaginable. And they got a company here called AgriLabor. It goes out and assists all those farmers in picking all their stuff. Very similar to Nebraska. Seasonal workers. You know what I want you to, hello? You know what I want you to do? I want you to go find somebody who is brown skinned, and I want you to thank them for existing. Whether you're thankful that they exist because they help to keep you fed, or because you don't have to go pick those tomatoes yourself, or because hell, the fact that they exist gives you an excuse to blame somebody other than you. Fact is, you owe a lot to Hispanic society. Now, obviously, I don't have the reputation here I have in Chapel. I make my rounds. The people who are good to me, I go back. If they're not good to me, I don't. Now, the situation up there. Oh, we are here at the Tim Burton trees. I do want to show you these. I've tried to show you a few times at night, but at night it's difficult to see them. That's a Tim Burton tree right behind me. You see how it's all whoopy and willowy? It's supposed to be a pine tree, but it's all thin and sickly looking. That's why I call it a Tim Burton tree. There's another one right here. Does that or does that not look like something that would go into A Nightmare Before Christmas? Certainly does. Now, for the most part, walking down the street, most days, you don't see a whole hell of a lot of Hispanic folks. And if you do, it's the whole family. It's not just one or two people. Very much as a family, they do work together. Now, obviously, not every Hispanic family is like that, just like not every white family is every man for himself. But culturally, the difference is immense. For me, all right, we gotta not talk about certain things, youngins and all that, but we'll get a few feet down. When it comes to sexual predators, whether what Chris said was true or not about having sex with my mom or any of the other kids that I went to school with, well, I'd like to say I don't believe them or I don't want to believe them because it's my mom, but at the same time, shit, my first day in Chapel, Nebraska, had a bunch of old men coming up to me and telling me, you know, your mom was a lot of fun in high school. Started my first day in Nebraska. Some of them went a little bit more into detail than I wanted them to. And several of them told me, well, you know, I was sure I might have been your dad. Oh, pleasant. So I had to inform them, well, guess what? My dad's name is Brian David Schwartz. And when I was, I want to say 36 years old, he had me take a DNA test because according to him, he broke with my mom because she was a cheating ass hoe. And according to my mom, she broke up with my dad because he's a cheating ass hoe. Well, my mom can't exactly say I'm not hers, but my dad could definitely test it and contest it. I gave him what he wanted. I gave him the DNA test. And you know what it turns out? My mom was not quite the cheating asshole my dad thought she was. However, with those other guys coming and talking to me, yeah, my mom was a cheating asshole. You guys say, hey, you can't say that. That's shaming women. No, it's not. No, it ain't. If you a hoe, you a hoe. It don't matter what parts you got, you still a hoe. If you fucking around and you got kids, you're fucking around with cocaine and you're fucking around with meth. You know, you don't get to blame that on your kids. You can try, but it ain't your kid's fucking fault. All you guys are pretending like I'm crazy because I'm angry. I'm angry about the right things. What are you angry about? Oh yeah, you're angry because I have a penis. You're angry because anything with a penis must be at fault. You're angry that I told on you. You're angry that I recorded you and posted you on YouTube and Facebook. Well, guess what? You had ample opportunity to come forward on your own. You had ample opportunity to tell the truth. You had ample opportunity to write a police report. You had ample opportunity to do your job. When it comes to at-risk adults, we don't stop being at risk just because we turn 18. We don't stop being at risk just because our parents have chosen drugs over us. That risk doesn't stop. When you become an adult and you age out of the system, you know, a lot of people assume you must have been in the system because you were a naughty kid. You must have been in the system because you were ill-behaved. You must have been in the system for whatever reasons. And while you're in the system, these people treat you like that. They treat you like you are there because you deserve it. They treat you like you are there because you're a bad person. You're a naughty child. They don't bother to find out why you're there. They don't care why you're there, just like at the prison in Lincoln. Repeatedly, I tried explaining to them, I'm in Lincoln prison. I'm explaining to them, hey, I'm a county safekeep. I haven't been convicted of anything. I haven't even had court. You cannot deny me access to legal materials. And so what did they do? Staged a couple of assaults. Cut me off from all of those resources by their rules. So they denied me access to everything that I am legally allowed access to. Then, because I was not a convicted felon, I'm not even allowed the rights of a convicted felon. The fact that I was trying to turn in Scott DaCosta, the fact that Megan Messigatis was such a fucking waste of goddamn time and space. I mean, holy hell, you'd think a woman that big would be able to make an impact. Well, that ain't the case. Now, why is it that I keep attacking her size? Because of all of the absurd, cockamamie excuses that she made. Why she wasn't even willing to try. That was probably the most pathetic. You know what I did when I was fat? I still went to school. I still did my homework. And I went walking every day until I was no longer a fucking behemoth. Now, don't get me wrong. She's absolutely right about the fact that that reduces her chances of being heard. But the thing is, she's supposed to be my advocate. She needs to exercise her fucking muscles as an advocate. Flexing an armful of fucking Crisco is just going to make a fucking greasy ass mess. The thing is, she's got the education. She should have spoke up. She was able to verify that not only that she's aware of the things that are going on with me, but that she is aware that it goes on with many others. That's another one of the excuses that she made. Now, of course, the officers, what is excuses that they made? Well, when I went to them by myself, they told me it wasn't their job. If I was trying to get someone to go in with me and it took a day or two, their excuse is that it took too long. It's my fault because it took too long. Well, I needed to find somebody to go in with me because these are literally the same officers. The same officers. The same ones that would lie to me once and then change the rules again. And oh, there's another squirrel down there. Not sure if you can see it. There's like 6 different varieties of squirrel here. It's amazing. Chapel, Nebraska, we got one. Now, as I walk down the street, I see these former soldiers, and they have well, they're proud of being traitors to this nation. They're proud of being traitors to the American people. They're proud of being in the Marine Corps and shooting people in foreign countries. They're proud of the Air Force. They're proud of the Army. They're proud of all of their time killing foreign people, while our rights are flushed down the toilet here. Now, don't get me wrong, I know lots of veterans on the streets, and I know quite a few in houses, and there is a big difference between the two. Some of those in houses used to be homeless. And of course, in order to get your GI Bill, you still have to have somebody to go in to help you, especially if you've been shell-shocked. You know what shell-shocked is, right? You might want to look it up. Now that's a PTSD, trauma response, the shutdown. So many of these veterans who are out here on the streets, they're out here because of concussion damage. I'm not sure if you guys watched my videos from, I think it was earlier today, where I was talking about explosives and the difference between an explosive for inside, train, and an explosive for outside. Inside, you don't need shrapnel. The concussion will kill everything in it. But if you're outside, you need shrapnel. You can take a concussion bomb meant for inside of a house and turn it into an exterior one with two very simple objects: duct tape and rocks. That concussive explosion, it pushes out from the center. Anything surrounding the center, such as duct tape with a bunch of rocks attached to it, is going to fly off. Now, through all this, I've had this knowledge. I've had these abilities. I've had access to firearms. And yet, I've killed no one. But you pretend that because I literally have to scream for help, that I'm unhinged and dangerous and going to kill people. Ooh. So you use the whole boogeyman theory as an excuse to harm an innocent man. Smart. Fucking bright. Now, how many people who know me in real life believe me to be schizophrenic? None. Now, how many of them at this point are willing to pretend? Quite a few, including several who admitted loud and clear that I'm not schizophrenic. But this is a very important but. It's not a big butt like mine. Wait, my butt is not big anymore. Alright, I have to sit down. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Alright, I'm gonna end this video because it's like an hour and 34 minutes long, and I'm gonna start another one. I don't even remember what I named this video. Now, obviously, with everything being as complicated as it is, with people like Darren O'Connor saying he didn't even try because it was too complicated, across multiple jurisdictions, these asshats broke the law, knowingly, willingly, and repeatedly. How is it that a place like Dual County can press charges against me, have me locked up on at least 11 separate occasions, and they had to drop charges every single time? Does that or does that not seem like excessive harassment? But then again, what was I trying to do when they did those things? I was trying to turn in Scott DaCosta and his deputies, and Nebraska State Patrol kept on telling me that it's not their job. Now, Megan Missigatis, she's dumb as a fucking stump. Between looking up the laws and just assuming that the pigs are telling the truth, well, Megan Missigatis has showed that You know what? You send an idiot to college, you get an educated idiot. Well, that's great, except that she's an educated idiot who is miseducating and getting miseducated and is too stupid to look it up. I gotta tell you, me and Wendell McPhee, we're both on the same page as far as looking shit up. There has been at least 100 to 200 times, I mean, it happened a lot, where me and Wendell McPhee, we had a disagreement. Not an argument. Me and Wendell did not argue. We had disagreements. And that disagreements that we had was always over information. And of course, having the internet at our fingertips, which we didn't have in the 1980s, we could look it up immediately. Oh, sorry, folks. Thank you, I work out. I'm glad they like my joke. The person that I am on the internet versus the person I am in real life, they are miles apart. That's because in real life, I like being good to people. In real life, Boulder, Colorado, I loved passing out blankets to the homeless. I loved walking those people to the warming centers and the homeless shelters. And you know what? Even though the addicts are extremely volatile and extremely dangerous, I love them too. I mean, some of the people who saved my life, you guys would, if you looked at these people or you looked at their records, you'd be like, my God, this guy's damn near Satan. People like Monkey. That's not his real name, though. His real name is Michael Pennington. He's got a face only a mom could love. He's huge. I mean, not like huge like fat. I mean, he's tall. He's also famous for having a 15-inch shoe size. So there we were, Boulder, Colorado. There's a parking garage just off of Broadway, and it's attached to an apartment building. And Monkey, he had a blanket. We had one blanket between the two of us, and it was his. And he didn't want me to freeze to death, so he invited me up there to sleep. And he kept watch while I slept. Made sure I didn't freeze to death. Now that was about a week after a friend of ours named Jimmy died, froze to death. So, of course, that wasn't Jimmy's real name. He just went by Jimmy. Because Jimmy's easy to remember. That's what he said. Jimmy's easy to remember. Jimmy is easy to remember. He froze to death. Of course, it was cold. It was bad. I mean, it was snowing sideways like it does in Nebraska. And that don't happen often in Colorado, especially along the Front Range. But Monkey, yeah, he let me wrap up in his blanket the first night. I mean, I was tired. That's how cold it was. I don't know how much you guys are aware of core temperature and how falling asleep is what kills you. But I was tired. If Monkey hadn't grabbed me when he did, I'd have never been able to save any of these people's lives. That was all the way back in 2003, 2004. I didn't start saving lives in Boulder until 2009. So I'm back to Chapel. Figured I'd get away from all the death and all the destruction. I mean, just so many. You can't love people when you're homeless because they're going to die. You can't get to know people. Oh my God, I love the mohawk. That is so cute. All right, so there's this little mini poodle, and he's got a green mohawk. All right, good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. And remember, you are your brother's keeper. No victim left behind.